Dumelang bana ba dikgosi le dikgosigadi, ke ngwanyana la o rata ke modimo le mangelo ya kere. Welcome to the Chosi podcast,
a brand that stands for all things owning your power. In other words, we have conversations with individuals from different walks of life, understanding that how did you get to the point of owning your true power, and what did you do to get to that point of owning that power?
Dumelang bana ba dikgosi le dikgosigadi, ke ngwanyana la o rata ke modimo le mangelo ya kere. Welcome to another episode of the Chosi podcast, a brand that stands for all things owning your power. At this podcast, we have conversations with individuals that have overcome a whole lot of adversities and they are authentically living in their true power. We believe that confidence is something that comes from within you. And we also believe that clothing is a big part of that whole process. And that's why we warn our clients that whenever draped in the Chosi brand, they're definitely going to be getting compliments and stays. I'm your host, Suhoran Leseilani, and in studio today, I've got one of the best singers I've ever seen in the world.
In the world. In the world.
Yeah. I'm going to say it again. One of the best singers I've ever had and seen in the world.
But who?
She is also a gender activist, and she's very well known for her lead singer role on the multi-award-winning, internationally acclaimed, and double platinum-selling South African a cappella group, The Soil. She has currently gone on her solo career, and she has a debut album called Chosi. Buhlebendalo, mda.
Yes, ma'am.
Molo sisi.
Molo babes.
Unjani?
Right.
Ndifilile namakhonto. Welcome to the Chosi podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You look so beautiful. And when I saw you walk into the studio, I was like, yo, your hair. Oh my gosh. Yo, it's so beautiful.
I am the girl.
Thank you for joining me in studio again once more.
Thank you.
Now, you were part of the Soil group, and now you've currently embarked on a journey of being a solo artist.
Mm-hmm.
Please take me through how that journey was like for you, how the transition was like for you, and how did you adapt to it, and how did you come to that decision of you being a solo artist?
I don't want to call it a decision, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time, when you feel like you've run your course at a certain space and you've delivered towards your purpose at a certain space. I started the journey very young. We're in high school. I get to be the 2K ciphers, but we used to do ciphers back in high school, Libom rapper. And then I always wanted to be the Lauren Hill of the cipher,
What?
And then I come in with my voice there, I think that's how the culture started with the gents. And I was around 16, 15 when I started with the guys. And we carried on that culture and we spreaded it out to local universities around Buma UJ, Buma Valtech, because the gents were attending at Valtech.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to travel to the Val and just create lifestyle yadi poetry sessions. That's where we grew into, like the soil is and was a very big movement, yabo. To a point where we traveled around the country. We went to Free State, we went to KZN, we went to Cape Town, all the varsities we could go to. And then in 2010, I remember I was highly pregnant when the gents went to the National Arts Festival in Grahamstown. I think that is where the breakthrough was, when the gents got an interview. The 2Ks don't know that Something Soweto was the original member of the Soil.
What?
So, yes.
I guess I'm also a ticket because I didn't know that part.
Yeah, so it was Samgelo, Something Soweto, Nziga, and P that went to Grahamstown Arts Festival. And that is when the Soil was discovered through an interview at one of the radio stations. So after that, everything just went very quickly. got a recording deal. And then years later, we have albums, we're selling platinum, we're traveling the world. And then around 2016, I felt an urge. I felt a certain fire that I have to unleash inside of me, you know. This was during my lifehlo, when I was called to answer another call, you know, where I need to spread a different message, where I am assigned, I'm given an individual assignment.
Yeah.
I think that's where my solo career started. Yeah.
The reason why I say you are one of the best singers I've had in the world, I mean that really truly, because I've been a big fan of The Soil.
Yeah.
And listening to you sing, there's one song in particular, Sedilag.
Yeah.
It's a hymn that we grew up listening to.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
listened to that song, you sang it with so much soul. And this is just one of the many songs that you've sang.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who's very musically inclined. And the reason why I say you're one of the best singers that I've ever had in the world. And that's because I've listened to a lot of singers. I've had a lot of songs. And your sound is different. Like, we can't put a finger to it, but it's just a league of its own. And that's why I say that. And I mean
well,
it really.
I receive
truly.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to find out from you, what's a battle that you fought and that you've had to overcome? That it could be something that no one knows about. It could be something that we've seen you in the media go through, that now when you look back and you reflect on it, you're really grateful that you overcame it. And how did you get to that point?
I think I'm still trying to overcome it. Being a woman in a male-dominated society.
Okay.
Being intombazana sekasi, who is very outgoing and has a lot to say about a lot of things. And I think I'm still trying to overcome being misunderstood as a creative and as a creator. I'm still battling with being authentically myself without the connotations or without limitations of society. As you can see, I'm a woch girl. You know,
What's a woch?
Like, I'm big, I'm tall.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and sometimes even my hair today, I stand out without planning to stand out.
Yeah.
And some may receive that as a threat or an intimidation. But
yeah.
I feel, Guti, I am still struggling to be normal. I don't see myself as normal, and I don't want to be normal. So there's a lot of battles that we come across as women. And I don't want to say I've overcome anything, because the battles are continuous, you know. As we grow older, we get exposed to new realities of what life can bring. So for the small wins, I would say that I won. And the only way I win is by staying true to myself and allowing myself to evolve within myself. Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact that you're really self-aware, and you're aware of the fact that this life is just a never-ending journey of constant battles that we overcome. And also you're cognizant of the fact that you've got small wins along along the way. That is really beautiful. Now, please take me through where you currently are right now in terms of your solo career, because you also have a body of work. Please just say it again for me. Chosi. Please take me through that journey.
Chosi is a collection of prayers. I started conceptualizing a while ago. I think during my initiation, I got introduced to myself. I got introduced to God, and I got introduced to a new reality that was elevating for me. And I got to face my fears of doing things by myself, because I never thought I could stand on stage by myself.
Yeah.
You know, I got difumena mandla macha, you know, of viewing and seeing life in a different eye, yabo. So the first song I wrote was called Netisa. I like telling this story because I felt Uguti Netisa was the rebirth of myself, because Intwaso is different for everyone. And I just hope we have time to also just unpack that.
We can.
Intwaso is different for everyone, but the main thing is that it is difficult to be by yourself.
Yeah.
Because living in Joburg, I was born here, I was raised here, ngafunda la, ngasebenza la, and I was always surrounded by noise and less stillness. And now when you are faced with stillness, you get to face yourself, even the bad parts of yourself, even the parts that you always run away from and hide behind the noise and the traffic that happens around our daily lives, It was difficult for me. And I remember this one time, it was raining out. And obviously, I was draped in clay, imbola ngesixhosa. And then ngazwa imvula. When the rain starts,
Yeah.
And in that sound, I started making a chorus from the sound. Yes. And then the chorus just goes, "Chapa, chapa, 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 chapa." And then I started creating a song from that. And the only words I could utter to God and the higher being was, "Xa bufika ubumnyama, uzuvuselela amathemba ami." So I treat imvula nenyembezi and any form of water that comes from the earth or from myself as cleansing. So I went outside and I stood in the rain because I felt like I needed some sort of cleansing. Of everything and every doubt that I had in my body, So I kept singing to God, I kept singing to the universe, I kept singing to abantu abadala to say, "Xa bufika ubumnyama," because I felt like I was in the dark.
Yeah.
Uzuvuselela amathemba ami.
Now, you mentioned that you've gone through initiation in Twaso, and you also say that you have met God in all of that. Now, as people with different beliefs, they'd look at you and say, "That's crazy. How would you meet God in Tasweni?"
It's not crazy, actually.
No, but I'm saying someone would be listening to you and
Yes.
say, "No, that's crazy. You can't,
The problem is that immediately when you say God, people think of a figure of a guy with a big beard, right? A white, tall guy, handsome guy with a nice big beard. But God is you. And when I say I met God, I met my highest self, And the highest self is the one that's always going to tell you the truth. The minute we remember that God is within us, because neBhayibheli lelifundwayo liyasho ukuthi senziwe ngomfanekiso wakhe.
Yeah.
So who are we not to deny the God in us? So when I say I met God, I met a higher point of myself that I didn't think existed. And this higher being of myself reminded me of my worst and my best. Yabo. So, and to know the difference between good and bad, to know the difference between good and best also. So when I say I met God, I say I met truth.
Yeah.
I say I met reality. I say I met my good and my bad.
Yeah.
And I chose what to take with me going forward. So it's just a discerning thing,
Your body of work, you said it earlier, I asked you when we were still getting our makeup done what it meant. Please, can we go through that again?
So ndingumXhosa ne?
Yeah.
AmaXhosa ngabenguni, right?
Yeah.
And kusinguni, xa uzoxela ibali, or when you're about to tell a story, uthi chos ngantsomi, right? And xa sinqula emanyangeni okanye sinqula emadlozini, the last words we say is Chosi. Makube Chosi, let it be.
Let it be.
Which means ayate, ahukanye, right?
Okay.
So xa uzoxela intsomi, you say chos ngantsomi. So this was me telling a new story, a story that has been building inside of me. So whenever you say chos ngantsomi, everyone is quiet and is ready to receive and listen to the story that you need to tell. So that's why I called it Chosi.
Yeah, which I interpret as you saying, let me now tell my story the way I want you to receive it, or do you leave it open for other people's perception?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just my story, because I feel like there's a lot of women that live inside me. And there's a lot of women who don't have a voice or who don't have the perfect articulation of what they go through. And I feel like this is a story that yearns to be told. But I don't restrict it. I leave it to anyone's interpretation. So I might say, nathi mdalisi ngabakho. I might say it to my own meaning, but you can receive it anyhow you want, because you are telling your own story to whoever or whatever you pray to.
Beautiful. You said that you are a very big girl. Whenever you walk in, people may feel intimidated. Just to make you feel a little bit better, you look intimidating, but you're really not there. Like when you walk into
I'm a
space,
soft girl.
you're such a soft. You're literally a soft landing. Like when you walk into a space, it's like there's this calmness. It's like someone could just hug you and sit there. Like, oh.
And I'm such a hugger.
Yeah, you are.
Like I'm such a lover.
Yeah.
I'm a nurturer. I'm a mom to my friends. Like I think kuyindlela engikhuliswe ngayo nami, khulele ekhayeni and I'm still blessed to still have both my parents who have instilled such a peculiar kind of love, Like I would find it very disgusting, but my parents would kiss in front of like, guys, stop. Like I feel as much as there were trials and tribulations ekhaya, but you could also sense that thread of love that brought us together. And I grew up with, people call them half sisters, and I don't call them that. But I have a big family, Yeah, my half brothers and half sisters. But there was this sense of love and sense of family that I always took everywhere with me. Yabo. So I own that. I know that when I walk into a space, I may mhlampe, yabon, but it's in my tone, it's in my hugs, it's in my eye contact to show you, Guti, it's okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
You can come here. Let me hug you. And sometimes before it would also make me feel like, oh, why don't they want to chill with me? But I'm just
such
girl,
a baby.
But I think it's part of me, and I got to a point where I accept it and I'm okay with it. And then plus manje singing sister soil also, it just makes it extra. But I'm slowly trying to own it and be okay with it and just spread the love as much as I can.
Yeah, it really shows that you really come from a loving background. Like even when you walk in, greeting everybody like they're your friend. Yeah, it's really beautiful to watch. I've got another question which is not related to anything that we said now. If you were to be a plate of food and you were to present yourself to people, what would you serve on that plate and why?
Strawberries. Imagine.
I was thinking of a wholesome...
No, babe, strawberries, my love.
Strawberries, yes.
That's it. Any juicy fruit, the juicy man, baby. The juicy. Like, any dimhle and the and the juicy.
Okay, that is interesting. In my head, I thought you were gonna speak of like a soul foodie meal.
No, that's
something.
complicated. I'm not complicated.
Oh,
I just want you to undibone, undamkele
take you as you are.
as I
That's
am.
it.
Yabo.
And
Okay.
if you were to be a cocktail, what kind of ingredients
The
would you have in it?
strongest. The strongest cocktail. Strongest, babe. The one that's gonna get you like, whoa, what
just
did I
happened?
just drink? The strongest, my love.
Yeah.
The sweetest, but very strong. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. Like if gune mojito, but add 3 extra. Alright. Yes.
That's interesting. Well, I would expect that from you. Yeah.
Yeah, the strongest, my love.
Yeah. And if you were to leave everything, forget that you are the best singer in the world. I need you to understand that you're the best singer.
I
One of the best singers I know in the world.
I never go pick things.
Please. I hold this opinion very strongly. If you were, just forget that you were the greatest singer in the world, and this is you starting your life and you had to move anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Anyway, there's no people.
What? Then who are you going to sing? Oh, well, you're not
To
a
the
singer.
trees, to the animals. Do you know what I want to come back as?
What?
A flamingo.
What?
Imagine just standing on one leg just for hours, like not giving a damn about anything. Like, girl, I'm pink. What are you going to do? Like, girl, imagine like minding my own business with my big beak, with my big peak. Like, please don't bother me. Angishiso ilanga, angishaya umoya. I'm just here. One leg, my love. Yo, listen. Anywhere there's no people. And I'm saying this because people are unpredictable. People are too demanding. People are too assuming. People are too rough. People are not gentle. And I'm saying this from the softest parts of me. And society is just, it gets a bit much. I would move to a place there's just trees, there's water, there's animals.
Yeah.
Like Boma eating, so
Yeah.
that's me. I would move there.
Why do you hold the sentiments? Because I know you're also a gender activist, right? And in that whole journey, you had to fight for your gender and for many other communities. Has that contributed to how you feel and perceive people the way you do now in terms of, your journey in a lot of communities and trying to protect them and being an activist in those spaces?
Yeah. I think also what sometimes kills me is that I'm an empath as well, and I can't not take myself out of a situation. Like I could literally, there was a time my mom was like, this life that you're living is not safe, because I would just park my car and talk to the guys on the road like, ufunani lana? Unzakalani, why unga ekhaya? Like, and then spark a cigarette and smoke. Like, what's your problem, my bro? Like, tell me about it. Why are you in the streets? I'm too much of an empath, and I'm too much of a nurturer, and that to me, in societal terms, made me a gender activist. I didn't know I was, but I'm passionate. As much as I don't want to be in a space where there's humans, sometimes all I want is humans, and all I want to fight for is humans. And I feel like the fight just exists amongst us, where there's no need for me to fight for an equal salary to a man. But I'm fighting. But why am I fighting? I'm fighting for a space in that boardroom. I'm fighting for dude, why don't we have a female president? Do you know why?
I don't know.
Exactly, my babe. Like, there is no reason why we don't have visible female leaders.
Yeah.
But now we're just there, trying and trying to own spaces and to take up spaces. And really, we don't have to. But we find ourselves in a space where we need to work more, we need to stretch more, we need to run an extra mile to do those things. And if I have to be that person that does that, gladly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I really don't have to. But ubuntu bam nendlela engikhuliswe ngayo doesn't allow me
to just turn a blind
Yeah.
eye when you
Yeah.
see this kind of,
Sometimes it puts me into trouble, but hey, let's do it.
What's the worst kind of trouble you've gotten into fighting these kind of battles?
I got arrested.
What?
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
the first time I'm saying it on cameras.
What?
Yeah.
For how long?
For like a weekend.
Not too bad. You're not different from the drunk drivers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, but it was bigger than drinking and driving. But babe. Yeah, I got arrested.
Yeah.
But I'm not ashamed of why I was arrested.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
was that? If I may ask.
Sure, me. Yeah. It's this fight that I keep talking about,
Yeah.
you know. Sometimes you don't have to. Like just respect me. Is that too much to ask? Just respect me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, respect me.
Yeah.
Like, honor me. Ndiyinzala bantu. I bring life onto earth.
Yeah.
There is no reason, because you can't say, wena, lelo brugo lakho, tight feet, ozala ngilba. You understand? To a guy.
Yeah.
We see attractive men every day of our lives. No, don't do that. Don't be
Yeah.
disgusting,
Yeah.
you know? And the problem with us women, we always want to protect the perpetrator.
Yeah.
We always want to be soft. Ay, ngibambi. Ay, mani.
Yeah.
Ungakhulumi nami ngathi, ay. And then when we say, they are the first to run to the cops. I just told you my story.
I got it.
If you don't get it, forget about it.
I got it.
Yeah.
You are also part of the LGBTQ
I plus
community.
PQRSTWXYZ.
The community.
Yeah.
What has it been like navigating that space? You're also married to a beautiful woman.
I received that as well. A lot of people say we're married. I received.
You guys are not married?
Not yet. We're close.
I thought you were married and your beautiful
We make
girlfriend
it look
is in
good.
studio.
We make it look good, Chomi.
I thought you guys were married.
Ay, siyabonga. We are.
Sorry.
Senishadisile. Amen. We are.
Don't quote me, please. I just thought. Okay, so what has it been like navigating that space, given, the negative connotations that our community has towards the LGBTQI plus community? What has that journey been like for you?
One thing about my community, we don't give a toot who says what about us merely loving each other the way we want to. We take up space. Most of the people in my community are the ones that are holding South Africans' economy, and it is difficult all the time wanting to excuse yourself. But I think what has helped me personally was being authentically myself. Like, I don't have to walk around eggshells to be myself. And I'm not the coming out kind of person also, because I feel like even that is a sense of wanting to belong to a certain society. People must just accept the way you are.
Yeah.
As Christians, we don't come out and say, mina ngumzayoni. Ngicela ningamukele bakithi. Mina ngumzalwane. Mina ngumzed. And straight people don't go out and say, I'm a straight man. Please accept me. No. So I don't feel there's a need of wanting to belong to a society that you reside in, And I think what has also helped me navigate was having a very strong support system. Mina, if my parents are comfortable with it, anyone else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My child is okay with it. My parents are okay with it. People that actually give me source of life and source of belonging. Abanye nabanye, my love, bangaza next year.
Also, you can't please everyone.
Exactly. That's our problem as humans. Yeah.
You can't please everyone as much as you would like to, but you really can't. Oh, that's really good to know. You had mentioned earlier about your initiation journey Please run me through all of that experience. For someone who has not been to an initiation school and always watching from the outside, I can't really understand in depth what you have to go through and your experiences in that space. It's always something that I wonder for myself. And sometimes I think I may come across as judgmental, like, why would you go through that? Why
would you want to be
Why would you want to be that? You know? Yeah. So just also in your delivery, give a bit of education for someone who doesn't know what that is about.
Okay. Firstly, I don't regard it as initiation. I think that word just makes it feel like ipsojane.
Torture.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I just feel like it's a journey to self, because there is us in the physical realm, and each and every one of us has a higher self. So it's a journey for you to get to that point, right? And I personally believe ukuthi sonke siyathwasa. But ngeke sonke sifaka ama-beats bese sifaka amabhayi bese siphuza izinto bese siyahlaba bese senzani yonke lento leyo. But I believe ukuthi sonke siyathwasa. Intwaso for me, so the seasons, esiXhoseni, spring is called intwasahlobo, right? I want to make an example ngaleyo. So spring is called intwasahlobo. Kutwasa ihlobo. It's the beginning, or it's the birth of summer, where you'll see isihlahla samapentshi siveza lamaflower lanka pink, right? And then it grows into an actual peach. So uma utwasa, when I say sonke siyatwasa, you'll understand, mase ngiqhubeka ngale statement. Uma utwasa, you are planting a seed. And throughout the amount of years, or the amount of however many months you stay, or you whatever, uyankcenkceshela, you are watering that seed, right? In watering this seed, you are surrendering to the unknown. It's like faith. It's like, hey, bazongishaya Christian. It's like the Bible. It's believing. You are introduced to this person, which is yourself. Yeah. So, person, Buhlebendalo gama lakho. Uyamlahla uBuhlebendalo ngoku. Because uBuhlebendalo uyamazi ukuthi unesikala lana, yabona unesandla esithenteni, unamazinyo ayingakhi. Awusamazi lo muntu. You are planted into new soil as a new seed to birth a new fruit that can be consumed anew, right? Xa ke ngoku uhamba oluhambo lwentwaso, you are going to be faced by your past, your present, and somewhat your future, depending on how deep you dig into yourself. So xa ke ngoku uhamba oluhambo, uyafundiswa ngemvelaphi yakho, right? Uzazi kabusha. Uyazazi ukuthi uBuhlebendalo mda, but uBuhlebendalo mda uzalwa ubani? uBuhlebendalo uyi-seed ephuma kweyiphi breed. So uBuhlebendalo ke ngoku uzalwa ngulo mntu. Lo mntu odibane nalo mntu ukuthi benze uBuhlebendalo yena uzalwa ngubani. So izinto okumele uzazi kabanzi nokuthi wena la ufike khona ufike kanjani. So now nabefundisi benze njalo. Uyabizwa ukuthi whatever healing space esihlangabezane nokhokho wakho, wena ubizelwe ukuthi mhlambe uzofaka iplaster lapho. Uvale lelo nxeba lelo. Because ukhokho wakho akakhonanga ulivala lelo nxeba. Right? And it is sometimes said ukuthi why would my grandfather torture me and want a cow for me? You know, those are just representations. Even the things that we wear, access amadlozi. because as designed ngabantu abamnyama. Zamakula lezo nabobani bani. I'm sorry to use the gula word, but I just want everyone to understand ukuthi ngizanga kuphi, right? Everything that is of here is Western, right? The clothes we wear, you know, even the beads that we wear. This is merely a representation of what you are trying to appease, because you are called for different reasons. You are either called to appease abantu bangakini, you're either called to heal a certain wound. You are either called to heal the next generation or to educate the next generation. So it's not one-dimensional. That is why it's important when ogobela laba manje mabethwasisa ba understand ukuthi idlozi lakho lifuna ini. Abefundisi bayabizwa ukuthi bazochaza ngezwi. Intshisakalo is the same. But ubizelwe ukuthi uzophilisa abantu who are drawn to your belief system. To heal them. That is why magemile umfundisi laphayana, we receive the anointing from lamfundisi. That mfundisi is not God, but he's a messenger of izwi lakaNkulunkulu.
A vessel.
Do you understand? So nami ngiyi-vessel yabangakithi. To heal the future generations and to heal self.
So this is one thing that has always been unsettling me, and
Okay.
I'm glad that you brought it up, because as I watch, because let me put it as this community, they're very out there now. We never
the community. Izangoma.
Yes.
Okay.
Izangoma, the community is out there. We never really used to see them like that. Let me just say, I don't have a background where Izangoma are in my face and I see everything that they're doing. But now they've got reality shows. They're everywhere. We see the practices. My confusion has always been, how are they, but how are they doing like a one-size-fits-all? Like, what did I do? What did I do?
I'm going to tell you a joke about what I just did. But I want to quickly focus on that question. I'll tell you why Sbaning. Ubuthina buyalila. Xa ndithi ubuthina, iAfrika iyasililela because siphulukene neAfrika. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to go like deep Xhosa and deep Zulu. Siphulukene ne-Afrika, siphulukene nobuntu bethu, siphulukene sahlukene nengcambu yethu, like our root is rotten. So now the earth and abantu abakhulu are trying to regain what seemingly is being lost. This is why a lot of people are woke. This is why a lot of people are awakening to their truest selves. Sithwasa sibaningi kanje njengoba nisibona everywhere, it's because inkani yabaphansi ivukile. Akusi fashion. Don't even be mistaken. Akusi fashion. And yes, it might seem like say everywhere. It's because siyazamkela more. Because kudala it was uma uyisangoma bobona njengomuntu ongathanda ukugeza, or umuntu ohlala ngcolile, or umuntu onuka umuthi, or whatever, or umuntu ohlala emlanjeni ongavasiyo and whatever. But now we are able to infuse our truest selves to our daily life and our daily reality, you know. And the reason why I feel it's one size fits all is the lack of education and the miseducation thereof. Because iyabonakala mos iyeningi ba ikhona. And I call them instangomas. And then instangomas take the advantage of the vulnerability and the yearning that we have and use it and use it against the ones that are vulnerable. Instead of taking that opportunity to educate. I remember, I think wavala after mina because wow, I'm a bit of time. because you are not going to say to me, drink this, and not tell me what this is. Futhi ke mina ngighetto snob, like I'm blood. Why? Why? Where? What is this? You know? Because ngifuna ukwazi so that nami mase ngidlulisa phambili ngiyazi
the
ukuthi
reasoning,
uma uhlanganisa le uhlanganise le kuhlangana le. And the problem now becomes there is baninzi abaphilisi abakhona in the realm. But because of the miseducation, we feel like we need to do the same thing. Kunabathandazi sisi. Abathandazi. Ngikhumbula ngithola i-DM ukuthi sisi mele ngiyotrust this prophet. I'm like, girl, why not you say trust this prophet? You understand?
Yeah.
It's the miseducation. Kunabathandazi sisi. Right? Kunamaxhwele, kukho izinyanga, kukho izangoma, kukho bathini i-mediums, kukho i-psychic, kukho i-witch, kukho, you understand? So sibaningi in the realm of healing, but now we've sized it to this one thing. Kunobhuti engimbonile online ethukuthele kakhulu ethi ubani othema umXhosa kumele uthwase isindawo, asisazi thina isindawo, but now missed the opportunity to educate ukuthi esiXhoseni kwenzwa njena. Okanye open the floor and say, let us talk about it. For me, sisi, spirit is one. That is why I also don't like talking the Jesus versus Amadlozi topics, because I feel like it's a waste of words, because spirit is one. We are just sent to different lanes of spirituality. Spirituality means the connection to the higher self. It doesn't mean Christianity. Christianity is the belief that Christ is your Lord and Savior. When I believe that with my heart and my mind and my spirit, that Christ is my Lord and Savior who died for me and rose for my sins, that makes you Christian. Right? And that is your belief as a Christian. That is your religion as a Christian. But Amadlozi is not a religion. It's a spiritual construct. Like ngumgaqo siseko we-spirit, spirituality, uxhumelwano nabantu abangasekhoyo, nabantu abasemoyeni, right? Nabantu abasemkhathini, nabantu bemvelo, right? So, and when someone is going to come and say, I don't believe in the dead, that's your belief. How's about you don't impose that belief to the person who actually believes, Uguti, when my grandmother has died, she is the one to bring back. Because where did she go to? To the very same soil that gives life to me. Which means my grandmother is that part of life-giving. The evolution of life. She comes from soil. Angithi bathi sibunjwe ngenhlabathi. Sibuyela kuphi futhi enhlabathini. To do what? To give life back to us. I cannot not say yes to that. Me. Ngikhulumela mina manje, angikhulumela izangoma, ngikhulumela isangoma lesi.
But also you're being very educational in this delivery, because like I said, I've lost a lot of things in translation. Yeah, because this is a broad community. Also saying the fact that they've generalized it and now we don't know exactly who does what, where, how.
You know why?
Which is where a lot of the confusion comes, because we can't all be healers. We can't all be the ones. Sorry.
We are all healers.
Sorry.
No, we can and we are, my darling. All of us.
But what I'm trying to say is, it's a broad spectrum.
Yes.
According to how I was viewing it. But because I don't have a lot of opinion in that community, because I'm not well knowledge or know much about that community, which is why I asked in your delivery, please be very educational about it so that I can also take away something from this conversation. You know, not look at people and say, oh, I trust.
You know what our problem is,
Yeah.
Sekai, is that we believe in human beings.
Yeah.
We don't believe in ourselves.
We believe in other people but ourselves. Okay.
We shut down the voices in our own heads. This is your voice in your own head, but you want to confirm it to confirm this very same thing that is the very same intuition. You want to go reaffirm your intuition. And then uzihamba nini wena mhlambe so. Like, give yourself time with yourself to listen to yourself, to listen to your inner voice.
Yeah.
And actually trust it. The reason why we are confused is because we are too much of followers. uNkulunkulu umvelinqangi ukhokho wabokhokho bethu has given us the knowledge of wanting to know, curiosity. But Tina, because we doubt ourselves so much, we dumb that voice down and want to be affirmed. That's why the scammers, sangoma scammers, because you already gotten your affirmation. That is why I'm going to come back to Christian people. That is why they always say, how? I believe in God, believe in Christ. Why must I believe in a person? Why must I talk to the ground and whatever? It's because they believe in something or maybe someone or some spirit that, and they trust that spirit to bring back the answers that they want to hear. But the problem with us then becomes not believing in the voice of ours. Our voice. You understand? So that is where the confusion and the fights start. And at the end of the day, we are fighting something so simple. Umoya.
Finish.
Umoya. Moya is one, bafethu. Like, moya is one. It depends. When ukabita moya, omunga kabita vibes, omunga kabita energies, omunga kabita
Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit. You know, umoya into yodwa. It's just that we get lost in translation and language that we use. But at the end of the day, sihamba ngomoya. Sibuswa umoya. Sikholelwa emoyeni. Ukuthi ubizu Allah, uja, bonke. Whatever you believe in and whatever wakes you up, sane, and that belief keeps you going. That's you. Ukabile. You don't need any other thing. So I just feel good. Everyone should just be left alone.
Yeah.
You know, let's stop these fights, especially, and the internet now has given us a space to just criticize each other for no reason.
Yeah.
Whereas you can just stay in your spiritual lane, mama, and be okay.
Yeah.
Togoza.
Thank you so much for joining me today. This was very educational for me personally, if I may say. So thank you so much for making the time and joining me on the show. I like the fact that you don't impose everyone, you don't force everyone or expect everyone to, Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate your time. We are really blessed to be graced by your presence. I did say that you came with a very calm aura and everybody was just relaxed as soon as you walked in.
I'd like to add something.
Okay.
On that note of, this is just an acknowledgement, right? This is a salutation to not just your physical self, but to your higher self as well. I went to Australia and was introduced to the Aboriginals, Base Australia, New Zealand. Mabe bingelelana, they face their heads together like this and they touch noses like this. This is greeting your innermost self, not just you. That's why mina uma ngibingelela umuntu angifuni ukuthi mangisi unjani bese uthi ngishap. Ngiyakubuza ukuthi unjani. Like ngiyakubuza ukuthi kunjani kwena. Angibuzi nje ukuthi okay, kiteng okay. No. Even my friends judge me because I always ask on text, how's your heart, friend?
Oh,
you know?
nice. That is so
How's
sweet.
your heart doing? How's your spirit doing?
Yeah.
Because I don't just want to know the physical self because I can see your physical self.
Yeah.
But how's about... So this is just an acknowledgement. I see you and I respect you and I honor you. And my people honor your people, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much for tuning in on today's podcast. It was lovely having you as well. See you on the next episode.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you. Bye.